Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. It's been some time since the name Gonzalo Lira came back in business, or at least I heard about. I had a conversation with my cousin maybe a few weeks ago, and we were talking about this, and my question was, what happened to this guy? Where is he at? After he claimed he either gets caught by the Ukrainians or he's going to cross into Hungary, I haven't heard from him or about him anything. And besides, that was the last time I heard. And it was, in my assessment, something very weird with that post. He posted that he is in Ukraine, was released by the Ukrainian secret police, I would call it. And he said, well, I think he had to show up again after he was detained for a month or so, come back for some court procedures or something. And he said that, and that was strange. He announced that he's going to cross into somewhere else. He's going to try to do that. But you don't do that. I mean, it's like an invitation. But anyway, I explained that in a video I made then. So now it seems like he's back, not he, but his name was brought up by Tucker Carlson and Elon Musk. Now, Gonzalo Lira, if you don't know, he is a Chilean, he has a dual citizenship of Chile and United States of America. So he's a US citizen and a Chilean, if I remember, he is. And he had some podcasts from Kherson, if I remember, Kharkiv. I will look here. It's one of the two. I always make confusion between this, but I will let you know in this one when I read. It's always for me, it's like I know where they're located, but nevertheless. So he from Ukraine, he was making videos, and he was arrested on 2 occasions. The second time, after the second one, we haven't heard from him. So now we have Elon Musk asking about Gonzalo Lira and asking Biden and Zelensky what's going on. So he seeks explanations from Zelensky and Biden on where is this guy? Why is nobody interested in the State Department about this guy? Is it because he's originally from Chile? Because he is a Chilean, or he just would have been something else. We would have been already brought with a helicopter to Washington, D.C., like some others. Anyway, so let's go and see these little articles that I have here. One is from Russia Today, and the other one is from Ukrainska, the new voice of Ukraine, the same thing for me, anyway. So the new voice of Ukraine, December 10th, 2023. Musk seeks explanation from Zelensky over pro-Russian blogger detention. Obviously, this coming from the Ukrainians will say things in one direction with a spin in the left, and coming from the Russians will go to the right. Russia Today, the same date, December 10th, Musk calls out Biden over US journalist jailed by Ukraine. So one is calls out Biden over that, and the other one say explanation from Zelensky. So put them together, both of them. Let's see what the Ukrainians are saying. US billionaire X, who is in the eyesight of the eye of Sauron, these guys are going to go full force on him. And Tesla CEO Elon Musk demanded an explanation from Ukrainian President Zelensky, because Zelensky is Ukrainian, for the detention of the Moscow-aligned blogger Gonzalo Lira, Ukraine's SBU security services, in his X post on December 10th. So here, let's unpack this garbage. First, Zelensky is Ukrainian. You got to know that one. And then the detention of Moscow-aligned blogger, that is, if you don't parrot their narrative, you're aligned with Moscow, right? And the Ukraine's SBU security services. Well, okay. Musk made his demand in response to an X post by former Fox TV host Tucker Carlson, who accused the Ukrainian authorities for, and I'm quoting, torturing Gonzalo Lira in a Ukrainian prison since July for the crime of criticizing Zelensky, end quote. Obviously, it's more than that, but even the allegations or the accusations are. But it's a war. They will find out. Freedom of speech, Ukraine, Zelensky+Biden. In his reports, Carson frequently makes false claims about Ukraine based on Kremlin propaganda tropes. So that means Carson is an idiot, right? You should never believe him. Yeah. Musk said he believes that Ukraine should release the pro-Russian blogger since the United States has sent the country more than $100 billion. Now, I don't know if he said exactly that, but it's going to be a direct quotation, because that's not, I would say, right. If you break the law in a country, like a private individual, let's say I go to China and I commit a crime over there, and those guys are going to indict me, charge me, and then convict me, let's say, just because let's say the United States gives $100 billion, the country, this guy's in charge of us, to China, it doesn't mean that my crime should be just washed away. I know among them over there, that's how it works. But lowly me or Gonzalo Lira, I don't think so. So I don't think that he said, yeah, in the name of our money, you release this guy. We'll see if that's the way he said it. And I'm quoting, an American citizen is in prison in Ukraine after we sent over $100 billion? Question. Is there more to the story? Remember, more the story than simply criticizing Zelensky. So if criticizing Zelensky and we give $100 billion, of course, what the hell is this? If that's all it is, but he said, is there more to the story? If that's all it is, then we have serious problem here. So yeah, they make it here. See how they make it, the news, they spin it? So he sounds like an idiot. Oh, because we give you money, you should just forgive these guys' indecencies or whatever, intransigencies or whatever. So if that's all it is, then we have serious problem here. He wrote tagging the Ukrainian president in the comment and asking for an explanation. U.S. President Joe Biden was also queried about the status of this American journalist, end quote. The SBU arrested the pro-Russian blogger. You can be pro-Russian as much as you want. Is it something illegal? Is it illegal? It's illegal in your country, then I don't know. And you're in their country, then you, I think, will, the consequences, which are not great here, right? So in Kharkiv. No, Kharkiv is in the north. Let me see if I got it right here. No, not here, because these guys are just weasels. Well, right here. This is Kharkiv, right here. In the north, compared with, the front line. It's in the east, obviously. But anyway, here is Kharkov by the Russians. This is where Gonzalo Lira was located. He was accused of, now these are the accusations, and you obviously judge it, denying Russian war crimes. You can deny how much you want, whatever you want. You don't get arrested for that, do you? Well, under the martial law in Ukraine, probably you do. And insulting Ukrainian troops. Are you allowed to insult anybody? Yeah, anybody. Is it illegal? No. Even in Ukraine, I don't think it should be illegal to insult the Ukrainian troops or the Ukrainian president, is it? Why would it be? I mean, I understand it's a war. These guys consider it as a war. They have martial law. That means their certain liberties are much infringed. This guy is not a Ukrainian citizen. What I would do, I would pick him up and ship him over the border. That's all I would do if I were Ukraine. But get him over there, ruffle him a little bit, showing a little bit some Ukrainian or not Ukrainian, certain kind of love, and then shipping over. That's what probably the Ukrainians should have done. And that's it. But that means the guy, Lira, could have gone to another country and start continuing his criticism of whomever he would like, without his freedom of speech being infringed. But you get him over there and accuse him, and this is the Ukrainian media outlet. So they try to make it as bad for Gonzalo Lira. That's why he was arrested. See? It's a no-brainer, man. So he was accused of denying Russian war crimes, and I take it that's the way it is. but I'm certain that there's a different nuance. It's a nuance over there. And insulting Ukrainian troops. That's all. That's two of them right here. See them? Denying Russian war crimes and insulting Russian troops. That's it. The SBU said in a Telegram post on May 5. So if these are crimes in Ukraine, well, move to Ukraine. Free country, going to be in the European Union, NATO, same values against the evil Russians. Do the Russians do the same thing? If you deny the Ukrainians war crimes and insult the Russian troops, do you get imprisoned too? And if you do, then I guess those are one and the same. According to the investigation, the man is a citizen of Chile, Latin American country, but has lived in Kharkiv for several years. Law enforcement agencies accused him of supporting the Russian occupation. It supports it with what? Verbally. You can't, right? You can't. And glorifying Moscow's apparent war crimes during the war. So if it's apparent, and it's, then what? And this is what the Ukrainians are saying. In the spring of 2022, he filmed provocative videos, like what? Spread his leg or something, showing the faces of Ukrainian soldiers. Oh my God, oh wow. And insulting the country's defenders. He posted the videos on YouTube and Twitter, where he has nearly 300,000 followers. I'm guessing he's gonna have much more now. Russia Today. So this is Gonzalo Lira. All right, if you didn't know. So same here. Elon Musk has reached out to both US President Joe Biden and his Ukrainian counterpart Zelensky regarding the status of Gonzalo Lira, a US Chilean. These guys tell you more than the Ukrainians. More freedom of speech, I guess. More honest. And critic of Kiev government. Lira has been detained in Ukraine since the summer, prompting Musk's engagement in the matter. On Saturday, US political commentator Tucker Carlson published an interview on X, formerly Twitter, with Lira's father, who said that his son is currently awaiting trial in Ukraine because he was exercising his right of freedom of speech. You know how it is under a war being over there. So yeah, if it first, I am for freedom of speech. I understand there are certain circumstances that freedom of speech will be infringed. Like, let's say our country is really attacked by a different country. These guys have martial law. Then certain kind of speech you can't have. Why? Because you're trying to win a war. So understand that if you have a foreigner coming in that country, let's say, and breaking the, I guess, I'm not certain if they, because it's the lawyer's job to prove or disprove, then, or defend, then it's a different story. But just to say his right of freedom of speech, I don't know what he said, because they don't tell you exactly. Say, well, he criticized Zelensky. So, well, he denied those guys' apparent war crimes. So, it's the same here. If you criticize a certain kind of country, oh my God, you lose your job. What? Oh, or hate has no room here. I can hate how much I want, as long as I don't act upon it or I don't incite. Hey, let's do this. Then hate is protected by the First Amendment. But certain kind of hate under certain kind of circumstances do not. Speech I'm talking about, So again, this is freedom of speech. Put it in a context a little bit different. I'm not defending Lira. I'm not defending Ukrainians. I'm defending the freedom of speech, whomever uses it. That's all. According to Gonzalo Lira Sr., the staff of the local U.S. embassy haven't done a thing. Now that's bad for the detained American passport holder, who is being defended by a court-appointed Ukrainian lawyer with no knowledge of the English language. In his comment on the interview, Musk wondered how it was possible that an American citizen is in prison in Ukraine after we went over $100 billion. We sent. It's true. To support Kiev amidst its conflict with Russia. And I'm quoting, is there more to the story than simply criticizing Zelensky? He's not an idiot, Musk, but this guy tried to portray him as such. If that's all it is, then we have serious problem here, he said. So on Sunday, Musk also addressed the issue of his own account, writing, what is the status of this American journalist, Joe Biden? And I tell you what's going on here. Let's see if I say I said the post included a link to the last post of X before his third arrest, third, not second, okay, by Ukrainian authorities in early August. In his message, the journalist said that he was about to cross from Ukraine into Hungary in search of political asylum. And I'm quoting, either I'll cross the border and make it to safety, or I'll be disappeared by the Kiev regime, he warned his fellows. So why do you trumpet that? This is what I would do. If I were him, this is what I would have probably done. I wouldn't have posted anything. I would have made a video. I would make sure that I have it, and I can make it in, for instance, YouTube. You say you post the video and you put it on a date and say, I want this video to be uploaded in 3 days and 5 hours. You can do this on YouTube. You can postpone it. You can release it later. Schedule, this called schedule. You schedule it, and when the time comes, automatically it comes here. So let's say I'm going to Hawaii or Tahiti. I don't like Hawaii, I like Tahiti. So I'm going to Bora Bora, Tahiti, and I don't make any videos, and you see me working hard right here, right? But actually I'm over there. Why? Because I scheduled it. Even though if you don't have internet access or anything. So he could have done that. Don't say anything to anybody, put something over his head in the middle of the night and start digging a tunnel to Hungary. That's what I would have done. And cross into Hungary. And when I cross into Hungary, then I apply for that, and then I start making videos, and I go back into my YouTube account and stop that schedule thing and post it right there. He said, this is what I wanted to post. I'm safe. I don't do that. It's like inviting the guys to knock at your door. Do you think you're not under supervision? Do you think these guys are not on you? They just released you and say, let him be. Maybe they released him hoping that he's going to leave. So, I can't be really... I hope the guy is safe. That's the first one. I'm with him on this one. But on the other hand, you post that on YouTube or wherever, because I made a video on that. Why would you do that? If you want to really escape, zip it, and you do that and just rack it out. When addressed on the issue of the Strana news outlet, a spokesman for the security service of Ukraine confirmed that Lira had been arrested on the border with Hungary. The U.S. journalist is currently in custody in Ukraine's second largest city because he fled. He tried to flee Ukraine. That is extra for him. The U.S. journalist is currently in custody in the second largest city, Kharkov, the one that I showed you, with a court scheduled to consider his case on December 12 and 21, he added. According to the spokesman, Lira violated Ukrainian law as he systematically justified, so that's a law. You fucked up, I guess. I'm not, understand it. Russia's actions in Ukraine, these guys could arrest others who, let's say, systematically justified because it's subjective. And if you travel somewhere, they can abduct you and get you in front of a judge, it seems like. Russia's actions in Ukraine and disseminated pro-Russian views on his social media accounts. You see, this one is very subjective, all this. Anyone could fall under that right here, 100%. If they want, they can do that. In his videos, he, quoting, also claimed that the Ukrainian armed forces were shelling their own territory while a neo-Nazi regime reigned in Ukraine. Freedom of speech. So, what are they going to do? Arrest him for that? The spokesman stated. Lira, who has been living in Kharkov since the mid-2010s, was actively covering Russia's military operation in the country from its very start. He said that it was a tragedy, for his He also decried attempts by Western media to portray Ukraine as a democracy, speaking about corruption in the government and publishing a list of Zelensky's opponents who, he claimed, has been disappeared by the Kiev authorities. That's his opinion on that. You sue him? I don't know. Here's what's going on with him. Lira was first arrested by the SBU in April 2022, but released without charges a week later as the story made international headlines. The 55-year-old continued his reporting, and in May was again taken into custody and accused of producing and distributing materials justifying the armed aggression by Russia against Ukraine. On August 1st, the journalist briefly reemerged on social media, posting several videos in which he said that he had been released on bail. Released on bail, you know what it is? You have to show up on court. You can't fly. You can leave a country or location if you're on bail. And was trying to flee the neighboring Hungary. So I'm gonna commit a crime. Guys, I don't like that. In order to avoid a lengthy prison term. He hasn't been heard from since then. I'm gonna commit a crime so everybody knows. Now, is that what it was? I want to be honest, and I don't want to be honest. I think I am straight, and I don't want to beat around the bushes. I am for freedom of speech if he does that. But you do that, what am I supposed to say? You come online and you do that. What was the expectation of that? What did he expect? That's exactly what happened. He got caught. I'm surprised he was not apprehended where he was, wherever he made a video. But anyway, here it is. I hope the United States of America has a duty to go and take care of Gonzalo Lira, being a U.S. citizen, but obviously not being of a certain kind of group membership. He is not going, even though he is a Chilean guy living in United States of America, so he partly participates in that little group, but not the big groups that we already know. Like, remember the basketball player, how she was out, and you got Whalen, the former Marine, still there in a penitentiary, in a colony, remember? And now we got about Gerkovich, I think is another protected group. He's in Russian custody for the same accusations, charges, and they want to fight for his release together with Whalen, the same garbage. They did Britney's Griner with Whalen. He stayed there. Griner came, obviously different group, and then now they want Gerkovich, different group, again with Whalen. And I'm suspecting Gerkovich will go. Whalen is gonna stay there because Whalen is belongs to certain kind of groups that are not supposed to be fought for, and it seems like Lira, by whatever he's saying, is even worse than that. So, my friends. Here it is. I hope he's going to be okay. What do I expect? The United States will make, if a mild pretense for idiots, that we tried, but he fucked up so badly that nothing we can do. We can't put pressure. That's their law. He broke the law. Ukraine is a country of laws that are respected. Everyone is equal. Let's see how the judges will determine and how the attorneys will fight with one another. And I suspect that Lira is going to go probably in the jail. I mean, I don't know. It could be. With these guys, when you have a corrupt society, anything is possible. So if you take it like, okay, what do you think these guys will do according to their statements? They will imprison him for some time. And then I don't know what's going to be later. But in a corrupt country, they could release him for a sign of a goodwill for American people, or they're just gonna slap him after they and let him out and say, don't ever come back here, you have an interdiction 1,000 years from now on. And that's it. It could be either way, even though the law, as they mentioned, he did this, he did that, he did this, he did that. I hope he's fine, and I hope he will be released and he will be allowed to leave the country and continue his work of free speech and having an opinion, assessment on whatever he wants. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.